Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I've been extremely interested and invested in cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, but
Yes.
more specifically Ethereum. This industry of decentralized digital assets are growing fast with a market capitalization of about 150 billion US dollars.
Yes.
They're created to disrupt the current social structures of centralized power and authority by providing participants with a peer-to-peer, trustless network of exchanging value and services. This is for mostly everyone else to understand what I'm talking about.
I understand. We
Thank you.
would simply say that that is not completely the way in which it would align with a positive outcome. Because you are saying that some people have a perspective that it was created to disrupt, as opposed to created to enhance and give life and growth to another way of understanding exchange.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. That
My
would
question-
be a way to experience a more positive relationship with that experiment, with that idea.
Right. My question is, what timeframes do you see this technology will reach a tipping point of reaching the masses and shifting the way technology improves our lives?
25 to 50 of your years.
Awesome. And then around that time frame, the 25 to 50 years, what market capitalization would be probable for these cryptocurrencies?
People.
People.
People's skills. People's abilities. People's imaginations. The gifts that people have in 100 of your years will be the only currency necessary. What you're doing now is a step along the road, but it's just a step. It's a conversion step.
So it will be like sort of combined in a way with those?
As we have described to you. Not that it will be exactly at the same level at first, that's all right, but as we have described to you, our society functions on pure synchronism. Therefore, synchronism is the capital. People are the capital, being where they need to be to provide the service that others need and to get the things they need from those who are willing to provide the service to them. The right place, the right time, perfect synchronicity, everyone gets what they need, everyone gives what others need. It simply works like clockwork, it simply works. And that is ultimately what you will experience somewhere down the road. But you will begin to understand in about 50 to 100 years how this actually works to your benefit. And therefore, everything that you're doing now will simply be seen as a means to have converted from the old system to the new. It won't need ultimately to hang around as a replacement system itself, because you are all ultimately the replacement system.
Thank
You just don't see yourselves that way now.
And also, like, in the current time, like, as opposed, or in addition to it being a way of financially exchanging with others,
Yes.
What industry would you say that it's going to enhance first, or not disrupt, I suppose, but...
What industry? You mean what technologies?
Yes, like aside from just financially exchanging with others.
AI.
How so?
When you finally create what you call artificial intelligence, you will realize sooner or later that it's not artificial. You will realize that all you've done is create an external device through which you can actually communicate to your own higher mind.
Oh.
And that will open up the floodgates of awareness in your society.
And you would time that around that 20 to 50, 100-year time frame?
You'll find that this will begin most likely within the next 15 to 20 years at the outside.
Amazing.
As we read your energy now. Because remember, no such thing as a prediction of the future. But that's how we read your energy now. There's a lot of momentum behind it. It seems unlikely, improbable, that it will change course that much. But remember that we are also only talking about certain parallel realities. Therefore, get in that vibratory stream, that's what you're likely to experience. Yes? Because we are only really giving you a reading of the vibrational parallel reality that we will be engaging with you in. We do not give you readings of parallel realities where no such engagement occurs. So get on the right train.
And then blockchain technology, the tech that's underlying cryptocurrency, I feel as though it came from like another galaxy or a higher dimension.
Nope. Higher dimension maybe, but that's because you had the ability to access it by being in the proper state of mind. As your own Einstein said, you cannot solve a problem from the same level in which the problem was created. You have to find the solution on another level. Yes? So when you go to that other level, when you begin to explore and expand your consciousness to other levels, those kinds of things occur to you because those kinds of things and that kind of information is what happens on those levels. You cannot experience what you're not the vibration of. Conversely, whatever you are the vibration of is the only thing you can experience. So to look for the idea of broader, big picture, more enhancing, more holistic ideas, you need yourself to be in a more enhanced, holistic state of being. But as soon as you are, all those inspirations, all those imaginations, all those opportunities, all those ideas start flooding in. You won't be able to stop them. But if you're not on that level, you can't even have an inspiration of those kinds. They're just not commensurate with that level you're on. You see?
Yes,
Make sense?
it does.
And that, those vibrational states, that is the ultimate currency. Currency.
Thank you.
Yes. The more you raise your vibrational frequency, the more conductive you become to higher currents of energy. The more currency you have. It's not an accident that the idea of how you treat yourself is coined in the same language as your money. Money grows, what's it doing? Appreciating. So the more you appreciate, the more you are in a state of grace, the more it all grows. Yes? Yes.
That makes perfect sense.
That's why I said it, and thank you for your pun.
Greetings, Elon,
And
Bashar, to all of you and to myself.
Yes.
Wow, I am very excited.
Oh, all right, me too.
Standing here, the energy for people who never stand here, it is the hot seat.
Yes, it is.
It's a lot of energy.
But it
right
is
here.
also the cool seat.
It's so cool. So I'm really excited, yes.
Yes.
And nervous, yes. It's very interesting.
All right.
So I will ask you a question about the hurricane that's happening as we speak.
Yes.
And I have many friends in Florida, and
Yeah.
they're in prayer circles, drumming circles, singing,
All right.
trying to push the hurricane into the sea.
Why?
Exactly. So
It's not about trying to push the hurricane into the sea.
okay.
It's about changing your vibration and shifting to a parallel reality where naturally in that reality the hurricane takes that course. Because it already is taking that course in that reality. You never change the reality you're in. You change yourself and shift to a reality that's already reflective of the change you made within yourself.
So again,
There's obviously
should they be doing?
got to be a parallel reality where the hurricane veers in another direction, yes?
yes.
So why spend time and energy attempting to alter a reality in which that doesn't happen instead of just shifting to a reality in which it's already happened?
Yes.
That's the effortless way. That's the path of least resistance.
So we all here on Earth have that power and ability to shift our weather.
Oh, let me see. I guess maybe.
yeah, I
Well, yes.
Okay, maybe yes.
Because
okay, so
you're doing it already all the time.
Yes, we're attracting
That's
it.
the point.
Yes.
Remember, please remember, we are not talking about something you have to learn to do. We're talking about becoming aware of what you already are doing more consciously so that you can direct it more specifically and more consciously. It's not something you have to learn to do. It's automatic within you because it's already how you create your experience of reality by shifting through billions of parallel versions every second. So it's a matter of just becoming more conscious that you're doing that, and then you can navigate the shift in the way that you prefer. You don't have to learn to actually shift. That's just a given.
Yes.
So being in the proper state is the rudder that allows you to move through the series of parallel realities that are more reflective of the state you have now changed into as yourself.
Yes.
Does that make more sense?
Yes. It
So
makes perfect
you
sense to
might
me.
want to share with your friends in that area the difference in energy between what they consider to be praying for the hurricane to move as opposed to simply moving themselves to another reality in which that doesn't happen. However, if it does continue, once again, you can also share with them, it's not about what happens, it's about what you do with what happens. Because how do you know that this experience isn't going to change your entire country in a way that it needs to change?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Yeah.
You are creating your reality, and in a way, many times, because you've never really all been taught, and many people on your planet are not taught to understand how to use the toolkit within them in a conscious way, they will do whatever it takes to wake themselves up. And sometimes, if they don't know any other way, they'll do it in the most catastrophic way, because it finally takes that to wake up. You don't have to do it that way, but if they know no other way, you have to do it that way. So if you understand that's what's happening and you learn the lesson ahead of time, then yes, you can mitigate the effect by understanding what the lesson is and applying the lesson, and then it can shift because you've learned the lesson, because you've shifted to a reality in which you're the person that has learned the lesson.
Yes. Clear.
Thank you.
I understand that. I really do understand it. And like I said, I am asking because I hear and read and see others who don't understand what we're speaking of here.
Yes.
So, we all want to learn how to deliver that the best way possible, because I
Yes.
have many people reflecting back to me, which I know that is probably my belief,
Yes.
that, that doesn't work. How can I leave the hurricane? I'm stuck in Florida. It's
Yes,
like,
well, just
it is what it is.
remember that no matter how chaotic it may seem all around you,
Yeah.
you, each and every one of you, are the eye of the storm.
Oh, yes.
You are all the eye of the storm. Be at peace, be calm, and understand and take responsibility in whatever way it's relevant for you to do so about what's going on around you for your own part in it. Learn from it, and the winds will calm.
Thank you for that. I will tell them so.
All right. Up to you.
Yes. So in that creation myth, in a sense, I'll get back to home on a very minimal level compared to a hurricane.
Yes.
Last night, we lay in bed and the windows are open. It's a beautiful night in Sedona. And the neighbor's dog starts barking.
Yes.
And we want that to stop.
Why?
Why? That's a
Don't you
good
like
one.
what they have to say?
I really was working with this, and I have been for a while. And
Yes.
so I listened to the dog of service to say, what is it? Why is this happening now?
All right.
When I want to sleep.
Have you
because
communicated something to your neighbors about this?
through the police so far.
Through the police?
Well, we called once because we wanted to be anonymous at this point.
Why?
Okay, that's a good point, because
Thank
maybe
you.
we need to meet our neighbor.
Maybe it's all about the idea of making a connection, making a
Yeah.
communication,
Yeah.
opening up a line of dialogue. Remember that in general, of course, there are specific differences depending upon the case-by-case basis. But in general, the dog is the symbol of service.
Yes.
So it might be doing you a service to open up a dialogue somehow that may allow you to more clearly state your preference and work something out with their preference, and also maybe even open up a dialogue with the dog.
Which I've done with the dog, because that was easiest first.
If
Last
you say
night,
so.
well, I'm laying in bed and it's 2 o'clock, so I
But
can't
if you're
go knock
laying
on
in
the door.
bed, you're not opening up a dialogue with the dog because you have to speak dog language, which means you need to be in physical proximity with the dog.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
How do dogs function
I understand what you're saying.
in
yes.
packs?
Right.
Are you the alpha
Yeah.
or the omega?
Yeah.
Have a conversation.
Okay.
Find your place in the pack.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
And that goes for your neighbors as well, because that may be what you're doing. Finding a way to create harmony in the pack.
Yeah, and we were both very interested in how it made us feel. It felt like, well, uncontrolled.
Yes.
And I can't sleep, so you know how that all goes. It's just a sense of irritation that was so powerful.
Yes.
And I love dogs. We don't not like dogs.
We understand.
But boy.
But again, remember, there is no such thing as an emotion in a vacuum. What you feel and the intensity of what you feel is a direct result of something you've defined to be true for yourself in life.
Okay.
So at the very least, the dog may be putting you in touch with that.
Okay.
So use that so-called irritation to find out what you would have to believe is true about yourself in order to experience irritation. Mm-hmm. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
All
Understood.
Right. Because if you're not using it in a positive way for yourself, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
I know some of you were waiting for that.
Yeah, right. That's why I brought it up. So,
Yes.
okay, thank you for that.
You are welcome.
Yes. And in that same place where I sleep, I've been sitting in the place where I've been sitting for the past almost 3 months. And when we first arrived in this house, I sat, and there's an arch window to my left. And above, I can see the trees, the beautiful juniper trees and the pine cones or pine cones, and the sky.
Yes.
And I said, oh, that's beautiful, wonderful.
Yes.
I went to sleep that night, and I dreamt.
Yes.
And I had contact in my dream.
All right.
And it was very visceral, very real. And I was back in that place, and I said, I want to touch this craft. So I reached out through the arch window, and it was like a 5D experience where I could reach the craft. And I felt the outer ring of this round ship.
Yes.
Out of curiosity?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I was sensing Arcturian energies.
Not exactly in that way, though it was a mix of things. You'll pick up on different things, but it's not our job to tell you at this time.
I understand.
So-
So it was like a greeting. I accepted it as a greeting, a welcome.
And again, a state of being that you can come from in all the things you do in life. Yes?
Yeah.
The gift of giving you an experience is the gift of presenting you with a state of being. That state of being, remembering that experience, puts you in the state of being from which to do things in your life when you follow your joy.
That was me.
Another version.
A version of me on that craft.
Another version is almost always involved in those encounters.
Right.
So,
it was exciting. Thank you.
thank you. Pleasant dreams.
Yes.
Get along, little doggy.
All righty. Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
I want to know what kind of, I want to know, how do I shift myself into a reality where I'm able to
Yes.
initiate and contribute to a shift in the mentality of this particular industry that
industry?
I feel is the industry of my highest excitement,
Which
which is
industry?
apparel industry, which is right now one of the highest pollutants on Earth,
Yes.
And so,
So what do you want to do about that? Where's your imagination?
I mean, I want you, my question for you, I know what I want to do about it, but my question
Well,
for
what do you want to do about it?
I want to initiate a mental shift
How?
by,
Through what actions?
through exposure, through voicing my opinion, or
You
but
mean
also creating
that's all well and good, but is there anything that you can actually create that
I
would
can create
demonstrate the
yes,
alternative?
I'm in the process of creating a brand, which
All
is going to
right.
be a sustainable apparel brand.
All right, and what makes you think you need to do more than that?
Well, my question was that, like, how do I,
How do you what?
with that brand, where do I go with that brand? And what is the evolution?
What do you think I am, your manager? Do you
want
not
to
have
know-
resources on your planet where you can find these things out?
Absolutely have. Absolutely. That's not my question at all. My question is, and I'm sorry, probably not even verbalizing it correctly. My question to you is how the humanity is going to be evolving in a near few centuries in our apparel, in the things that we wear, that will become friendly to the environment that we live in.
Well, it can go in a few different directions simultaneously, but ultimately will wind up where we have wound up, which is we have what you would call a singular garment that is a product of a kind of nanotechnology. You understand the term? Mm-hmm. And that single garment becomes anything we want it to be.
How?
Through nanotechnology. It's an artificially intelligent garment. You can actually tell it, now be red, now keep me warm, now keep me cool, now turn into a spacesuit. And it will do so because it has been programmed with all those abilities.
Is this something that we can achieve in our lifetimes here?
You
or?
can. The question isn't can you, the question is will you.
But it's
It
probable.
takes focus. It takes a willingness to go in that direction. So if you can do something to inspire people who understand that technology to explore that opportunity in fashion, then maybe there is something you can do about accelerating that particular line. Yes?
Yes.
So it's up to your imagination as to how to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that sufficient?
No, I'd like to ask more if I could.
Yes.
So something that is a little closer to our current situation. I mean, I feel like a nano garment is a far-fetched type thing.
Then you will never, ever see it because you believe it's far-fetched. Being in a vibration where you believe it's far-fetched, like we said, is not the vibration where you can be inspired by synchronicity to go down the path where it is not far-fetched, because you are creating a vibration that is contrary to the reality you say you prefer. Now, I'm not saying there aren't other ways you can do it, but I have given you one idea, and that idea can be a seed that if you open up and go into the vibration you prefer, may bring the synchronicity and opportunities to you that might not be exactly that, but will be what you need, what will work for you. Mm-hmm. But you can't put insistence on it. You can't put conditions on it. You have to allow the higher mind to bring you the things that will work for you in the order in which they will work. Even if at first it doesn't seem as if they will, if they contain your highest excitement, it's the excitement in the thing that tells you it is connected, not the form in which it comes. Follow the path of excitement, not the form in which it comes. Yes?
Got it. What are the other ways that we can...
I just told you. You're going to have to figure that out for yourself with your own imagination. I've given you an inspirational seed. Mm-hmm. Just get on about acting on what you can act on. Physical action is required to the best of your ability in whatever you believe you are capable of acting on in the direction of your preference. Do something. Take a step. And that will start the ball rolling. And then you will see what you need to do. You will see what avenue to take when you put yourself in the proper state of being to be capable of seeing what opportunity to act on, what path to take.
I understand. Thank you very much.
You are very welcome. The first thing about fashion is what you're wearing as an energy field. Everything else takes its cue from that. Everything else.
Hi, Bashar.
And a you good day.
I'm very happy to be here and ask you some questions.
All right. We are happy you are there.
Thank you. First of all, I have a deep interest in ancestral work and healing ancestral lines.
Oh, exciting.
Yes, I find it exciting.
Yes.
Is there a special way I should approach it, or do you have
Yes,
some tips
there
for
is
me?
absolutely a perfectly special way you should approach it. Your way.
Okay, so I'm free to do it the way I feel is right.
Absolutely.
And
Who
is-
says you're not?
True, myself probably.
Thank you.
And is this something valuable for society?
No, not at all.
No. Then I'm wasting my time.
Yup, you're wasting your time. And disappointing all your ancestors. Listen carefully. Yes?
Yes.
Listen carefully.
Yes.
What you are most attracted to do, most excited to do, most passionate about doing, you are passionate about not only for the reason because it is your essential vibration, but because it is the gift you have to give that someone is waiting to receive.
Awesome.
You can't be excited about something in your reality that there isn't someone around to receive it from you. Do you understand?
That's awesome, because that's really important for me to know.
Yes. It's what we call, you can't have a one-sided coin. Mm-hmm. You follow me?
Yes.
As we have said, there is no such thing as a one-sided coin.
Okay.
If you have the head, there must be the tail.
Okay.
For you to be excited about something, for you to have a gift, it must mean there must be somebody in the reality that needs it, that is waiting to receive it.
Okay.
You follow?
I do. Absolutely.
All right. Does that help?
Absolutely. Now, I have another question. There's this mass explosion of autism.
I am not going to address that at this time.
Okay. And Alzheimer's? No?
Not going to address it at this
Okay.
time.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And a you good day.
My question is in regards to needs.
Needs.
Yes.
The
needs
neutral needs?
no, just the basic needs that you spoke about today.
Those are the 7 neutral needs.
Several neutral needs.
Yes.
When we talk about needs, how can we avoid the vibration of lack? Because need also means you don't have it.
Not that interpretation is what we're talking about.
Okay.
Need, in its most fundamental sense, is simply that which you automatically need to sustain your life. Just as a flower needs water and sun. That level of need. We're not talking about the idea of what you assume you need. Mm-hmm. You have to be honest enough within yourself to be able to tell the difference about what you may be creating that seems like a need, but with true honest self-reflection may not be. In other words, you may be creating a limitation for yourself in a negative way, and there may be many other ways for you to actually get what you truly need other than the way you have concocted in your physical mind's imagination. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Does that answer the question?
Yes.
All right.
The next question is, when I started meditation, I would hear a high frequency.
Yes.
And it's a constant frequency.
Yes.
And it's getting louder. Is that a download? What is that?
Again, it could be several things, but it also could be the idea of downloading higher frequency energies and creating a third harmonic that is the difference between the original high frequency and the frequency of your present state. If there are any resistances or blocks within your definitions and belief system, it can create a third harmonic that can manifest itself that way.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Yes. My last question is, I personally experienced a channeling experience,
Yes.
and I wanted to ask you, how could I take it to the next level?
Do you mean vocal channeling?
Yes.
Have someone ask a question when you're in the appropriate state. One of the easiest ways to allow yourself to, quote unquote, sort of get out of the way is to be doing it for someone else who needs the information. Because then you're just opening up as a conduit and the information comes through you from another level to that person, kind of like electricity will ground itself in the person asking the question. Because if it's just for you, then you don't necessarily need to go into that full state to translate the information for someone else. You will just get it instantly telepathically as a download, but for someone else, you may need to go into a slightly different state by having them ask a question which triggers the download not to you, but through you to them.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who's up next? All right. How can we be of service to you?
Shivai.
Shivai.
My name's Kai.
Yes.
Is a shadow a shadow? Is a shadow a shadow?
Is a shadow a shadow?
Yeah.
A shadow is a shadow and not a shadow. It is a thing and not a thing.
Whoa. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense.
A shadow is the absence of light, just like fear in and of itself is not a thing, it is the absence of love.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa.
Does that help you?
Yeah.
Is that something that you will enjoy thinking about?
Yeah.
Is that all you needed to ask?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love you, Bashar.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'll ask some questions about three topics mainly.
Number one,
One is channeling.
yes,
Number two is gravity.
yes,
Number three is Egypt
Egypt. All right.
or Lemuria or Mu.
Well, Egypt was not Lemuria or
yeah.
Mu.
Both of them, let's say. Then.
But go ahead with number one.
Okay. Number one
Or
is
whatever order
channeling.
you wish.
15 of October 2016 at 8 o'clock in Prague, Czech Republic, above downtown. I saw four objects with a friend of mine, and it was my first experience with you. And then seeing those lights changed my life.
All right. No, you changed your life, but you used the lights as a reflection and a permission slip to do so.
So I thought it was you, and I just thank you.
Well, thank you.
And
Number
so I
two?
believe it was you.
No, wasn't me.
Okay.
Number two, gravity.
No, I'm still in channeling.
Nope. Number two, gravity.
No, number one, channeling.
No, number two, gravity.
Oh, please.
We can do this all day long.
Okay, gravity.
We'll get back to the channeling.
Okay, gravity then. I'm scared of heights.
No, you're not.
yeah,
You're
I
scared
do.
of falling from them.
Okay. I'm just imagining myself sometimes to be in one of your ships
Yes.
and to see the world from above, and
Yes.
it just scares me.
But you see, in our ships, there is what you would consider to be artificial gravity. It would not feel like you're actually at a height. It would
At
feel like your
all
feet are on the
times.
ground
At all times.
at all times. Unless
Whatever-
you don't want to feel it. Then you can turn it off.
Ah, okay. So whatever you maneuver in the air, you're standing still,
Yes.
like we do on ground.
It does not feel from within our ships that we are moving at all. It feels more like things are moving around us.
Great. So it's your point of view of the universe, of course.
Yes, exactly.
So you're changing your universe around you, not
Yes.
the ship.
Yes.
Can you give some more information about your technology of
Well, it's exactly how anything moves, actually, because you see, what we understand that your science doesn't yet understand, as we have explained a few times, is that location is not a place that an object exists in. Location is one of the properties of the object. So if you change the locational variable of an object, that object has to start existing in a new location instantly.
location according to where? Where's your reference point?
You can create whatever reference point you wish to begin with. For us, our reference point was simply our own world. And thus, we simply created a map of locational variables that stretched out into the cosmos from our own world.
Okay.
You can do the same from your own world.
So you fix your planets in position and you follow all the other moving objects around it to create the position.
No, what we do is we
coordinates.
measure the vibration of different locations, and then we learn to imbue that vibration into objects we wish to move to those locations, like our ships. So in other words, if my ship is over my planet, it has a certain locational vibration. If I wish to move it to the vibration of your dimension and your planet, the ship has to be imbued, encased in a vibrational energy bubble that contains the vibrational locational variable of your dimension and your planet. As soon as we do that, and the vibration of energy overwhelms the amount of energy in the ship, then the ship has to simply stop existing over our planet and start existing over yours, not really having traveled the intervening distance, simply disappearing and appearing where it has now been, in a sense, instructed to appear by changing its locational variable.
I understand. But your target position is always changing.
We can understand the target position in a relativistic way so that everything changes with it, relatively speaking.
Can you give some information about the technology that you use to create this artificial gravity in your aircrafts? Is that possible now?
It is possible, although to some degree to do it in the way we do it, you don't quite have the technology yet. But you can create versions of this, yes. But again, it's doing what we said. In other words, the interior of the craft contains a vibration of a location as if we're not moving. It's constantly repeated, constantly reinforced that it is a particular location relative to the ship as if we are not moving anywhere within the ship. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We're imposing resonance energy fields that contain a very complex resonant pattern of vibrations that represent the idea that we're not moving relative to the ship, but the whole ship is moving and everything with it because it becomes one resonance point. Does that make sense in your
Yes,
language?
it
All right.
does.
And so Egypt or Lemuria
Egypt,
or
Lemuria.
Mu.
I remember you said that there were some other shelves and rooms or
You mean within the Great Pyramids, under the
exactly, and
Sphinx?
they would be discovered and that
Yes.
nobody would cover it up, you know?
Well, some of them have been discovered and covered up.
Still.
Still.
When is it going to be announced and what change it will make?
Well, we
on,
can't completely predict that, but generally, again, you will find that sometime within the next 25 to 50 years, all of those things will be revealed, but it requires a great change in the consciousness of your planet and the way that you do things. But some people do know exactly where those chambers are and have seen those chambers for themselves, but have not really shared this information with the world. The ones that have been put in authority have prevented others from seeing these things.
Okay. There's another location in Egypt called Serapeum. Do you know that place?
Yes.
There are like 26, 28 large granite boxes inside these chambers. What are they used for? What were they used for?
They're resonators that have different frequencies and different vibrations that can accomplish different kinds of tasks, both energetically, spiritually, and physically.
Why were they kept underground?
because many people were not ready to understand how to utilize them, and in the wrong hands, they can be somewhat dangerous if not used correctly, in much the same way that if you don't know what you're doing with electricity, you can electrocute yourself.
So they were used as chambers,
Yes,
not boxes to
they're resonance
include
chambers
something.
that can have different effects on physical material reality and on energy and on spirit.
No, when I think about chambers, I always imagine them like as rooms. With
They don't
some...
have to be.
Okay.
You can have miniature chambers that are mobile, as long as they exhibit the right ratio, the right proportions, and so on and so forth. Then it will be kind of like a miniature version of the larger rooms that you can kind of carry around with you in terms of that resonance.
Okay. I have a last question about Mu,
Yes.
Lemuria.
Well, it's actually Mu.
Mu, yes.
Lemuria is a more modern reference.
It was located in the Pacific Ocean area.
South Pacific, there was more land mass extending from the areas you now call Southern Asia.
Okay, and was there a city on Mu called Turk?
It's not exactly what you would recognize as a city, because they didn't really build cities in the way that you understand that. But there were several stone structures that were used for a variety of reasons, again, having to do with resonance and connection to nature and a variety of different ways of being used. But they're not really exactly cities as you would recognize them.
Okay, so is there any special place related to this word on that island?
Some of the stone statues on Easter Island are somewhat of a remnant of that technology.
Technology?
Yes, it's a technology.
Turk is a technology?
The stonework that I'm talking about is a technology.
No, I'm talking about a word, which is T-U-R-K, Turk.
A word.
Yes.
Well, words are also a type of vibrational technology.
Okay.
Remember, that's where the idea of spells came from. Spelling, spells. The right words have certain frequencies, certain vibrations that can, as permission slips, allow certain things to happen if you understand the formulas. It's actually quite an advanced technology. It's a form of mathematical resonance.
Okay, thanks.
Now, anything about the channeling remaining?
Channel, yeah. My question was about when you channel, or Darryl channels Bashar, his ship then doesn't have to be around the area.
No, not at all, because there's no such thing as distance when you understand that everything exists all at once and you know how to resonate at a frequency that allows you to experience the effect that everything is here and now. Then distance doesn't matter, it's an illusion.
Okay.
Does that
so
help?
you can channel him anywhere on Earth without
Yes,
having
of
the ship
course.
above you?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, thank you.
Hello, Tadeo.
Nania.
So we have one question that from a Ustream listener that came up
Yes.
in response to the monologue that you did today.
Yes.
And the person wanted to know, can you expand on the need number 6? And the idea is, can I just focus on an internal relationship with self, or do I need to connect with another being?
No, as we said, any kind of relationship will do as long as it is recognized as a relationship. Because when you do focus on a so-called internal relationship with self, you actually are also connecting with all that is, with the creation source within you. Therefore, it's always both an internal and an external, so to speak, relationship in that sense.
And that could also be with a pet?
It can be with anything. Anything. It can be with a subatomic particle. As long as a relationship is formed, as long as there is a reflection, as long as there is an understanding of self and other coming together in some form of mutually reinforcing reflective relationship that enhances and illuminates and enlightens. Yes.
So earlier today, when you were talking about choosing positive or
Yes.
negative or neutral, right?
Yes.
Isn't the idea that that's one of the what's built into the matrix of existence is you have to make choice. You
Well,
have
you're
to
always
choose.
making a choice. Yes, you cannot not make a choice. Even not
Exactly.
making a choice is a choice.
Exactly. That's what's so interesting. It's like that's woven into the fabric of.
Yes, that's why we said it's not something you have to learn to do. It's something you simply have to realize you're already doing and use it in the way that you prefer to.
So in a sense, when you were talking about the need
Yes.
of communication or some sort of observer,
Yes.
okay, that is also built into the fabric, right?
Yes.
That it's not really a need. I know a person was asking, well, doesn't need mean lack?
It's
Well,
not
no,
a
it
need
doesn't.
in the negative sense of being needy, no. It's a need in the fundamental sense that it's part of the structure of existence, and without it, you wouldn't exist. We are describing the fabric of existence in those 7 neutral needs, yes.
And so just being physical, part of that experience is having to require things like air and,
Yes.
and all of that. So again, it's another way of expressing a need, but it has nothing to do with negativity.
No. That's why we call them the neutral needs.
So that's great.
Yes.
So I was
Yes.
just going to mention to people that for the meditation, not the meditation, the documentary tonight that we'll be showing at 6 o'clock, that many of these principles that Bashar has been talking about, we're able to create animation and examples to really help you absorb the information. Because sometimes it's such a big shift in paradigm to understand these things, but it's so completely logical
Yes.
once you get a handle on it, huh?
Yes, it becomes obvious. It's the science of the obvious. Is it time for your break?
It is.
We thank you all for the co-creation of this interaction and the allowance of this transmission at this time. Our unconditional love to you all, and we bid you an exciting life of exploration and self-discovery and play. Good day. How'd it go? Did you have fun? Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here. We hope to see you again either later today or tomorrow or next time. And we really appreciate you participating and being here. Thanks and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.